Welcome to our channel, where emotions come alive through every story. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on the bell, so you'll never miss a new story.
Men are funny creatures. They can solve triple-layer quantum equations but can't tell the difference between destiny and a delusion they made up at 17. Liam Carter, the boy who once spun my whole youth like a carnival ride, was now on his knees in front of me, crying like a kid who'd just lost his favorite toy. But that was now. To understand how we got here, you have to rewind. Way back, LAX airport, where the past punched me in the face without warning. I was in the waiting area, slumped in a chair, hugging a cup of coffee that tasted like it had died yesterday. Next to me were 2 suitcases, heavy enough to qualify as emotional baggage. The flight was delayed almost an hour. My spine hated me. My brain was numb. A girl kept glancing my way, once, twice, 7 times, until she finally gathered enough courage. Ava? Ava Hart, is that you? I looked up. The face was unfamiliar, but the eyes, there was something there, like a dusty memory trying to reboot. And you are? She lit up like an LED billboard. It's Olivia! Olivia Brooks! Bridgewood High, LA! We literally danced together at the anniversary show. You remember, right? I stared at her. There was a hint of recognition buried somewhere deep. I offered a polite smile. I think I remember. She gasped, like she'd just won a scholarship. I can't believe we ran into each other here. You were so popular back then. I knew what she really wanted to say. And like clockwork, she said it. Do you still remember Liam Carter? 3 little words, 3 punches straight to the gut. A cold shiver ran down my spine. It felt like a locked door in my mind had been kicked wide open. My childhood sweetheart, the boy who said forever like he meant it. The first person who taught me that teenage boys make promises they never plan to keep. I didn't answer, but apparently my face did. Olivia squealed. I knew it! See? Just hearing his name and your whole vibe changed. I tried to smile. My mouth forgot how to move. Back then, Liam scored a 1600 on his SATs. Top 0.1%. His name was everywhere. Stanford and Columbia basically fought each other to get him. They even threw out a ridiculous offer. He can choose one person to bring in with him. And everyone, literally everyone, assumed that spot was mine. Because for 17 years, every school file said, Ava Hart, Liam Carter's closest friend. We were inseparable. And I, being stupid and 17, actually believed that meant something. Until the day the person walking through Columbia's gates with him wasn't me. It was a transfer student who showed up junior year, Madison Blake. Pretty, soft-spoken, sweet as honey manipulative. A walking Pinterest board of innocent girl aesthetic. The airport speaker announced boarding, and I grabbed the excuse like a life raft. Sorry, Olivia, I've got to go. Before she could fire off question number 98, I pushed my luggage and practically ran. But the whole walk to the gate, one name kept stabbing inside my head. Liam Carter. Men are weird. Disappear for 8 years and still manage to give you a migraine in 3 seconds. On the plane, I got into my seat, buckled up, closed my eyes, opened them 5 seconds later. Nope, no sleep today. Every time my eyes shut, his 17-year-old face appeared. Bright eyes, soft smile, that stupid line he always said, don't worry, I'm here. Back then I believed it like gospel, believed it so hard I forgot to protect myself. I even remember the scribble he once showed me on a crumpled notebook page, Liam Carter plus Ava Hart, forever. Looking back, I should have framed it as forensic evidence of teenage nonsense. The plane shook lightly, the seatbelt sign turned off. I whispered to myself, Chingchun, youth, is only beautiful from far away. Get too close, and all you see are cracks. Landing. Reality hits. The moment we touched down, my phone buzzed. Arrived yet? Yeah. You sound off. What's wrong? Just a single, I'm tired, and the man on the other end knew my mood instantly. Ethan Cole. The only man who could read my emotions through the sound of my breathing. I didn't tell him about running into old classmates. Didn't want him to worry. Rest. We'll talk tomorrow, he said. I hung up and finally took a deep breath. But the universe hates letting women rest. On the shuttle ride to my hotel, my phone buzzed again. This time from a number I wished was deleted. Olivia. Ava! You came back to LA and didn't tell us? My stomach dropped. How did you know? The high school Facebook group. Someone posted a pic of you at the airport. The whole group is losing it. I closed my eyes. There was only one thought in my head. Liam Carter is going to find out. And when the past smells your return, it finds you faster than airport security ever could. I got back to my hotel that night, showered, and collapsed onto the bed. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Instagram group chat. Ridgewood High, class of 2012. 387 new messages. God, I'd forgotten I was still in that stupid group. I clicked in. And the very first line nearly made me throw the phone. OMG, guys, look who I ran into at LAX. Our homecoming queen, Ava Hart. Below it was a side-angle photo of me, half asleep, earbuds in, sitting under the giant departures board. Clearly taken while I was waiting earlier. Comments rolled like an avalanche. Damn, she got hotter. Ava looks so West Coast now. Her vibe is giving art gallery in New York. Cute. Harmless. Until it wasn't. Because right on schedule, someone dropped the bomb. Where's Liam, though? I thought those two were inseparable. Didn't they go everywhere together? My chest tightened. Humans are funny. Mention one half of a high school power couple, and they have to ask about the other half, even a decade later. Then someone typed, "Y'all don't know? They broke up senior year." The chat exploded. What? No way. But they were the couple. Liam adored her. Remember when he got suspended for punching a guy who tried to take a pic under her skirt? Yeah, I remembered. Scrolling felt like running in sand. I didn't want to keep reading. But my eyes kept catching familiar lines. Stanford and Columbia literally offered him an extra admission slot for his girlfriend. We all bet Ava would be the one walking in with him. Not all fairy tales end with a castle. Some end with a transfer student. Someone finally asked, "So who went with him in the end?" A reply came instantly. Madison Blake, the girl who transferred junior year. The group chat turned into a bonfire. That sweet, quiet girl? She almost beat Liam's SAT score one time. Plot twist of the century. My smile died. I exited the chat, turned off notifications, blocked the group. Not because I was noble, because I was tired. I lay back on the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling, letting memories rewind despite myself. Back in the day. From kindergarten to senior year, Liam and I were basically pre-installed in each other's lives. He was the quiet, brilliant boy, with dark eyes and a soft voice. I was the chaos tornado who couldn't sit still. He shared every first with me. First candy, first attention, first time he got in trouble for punching a kid who tried to film under my skirt. He took the beating from his dad. I cried harder than he did. Midterm week senior year. Sunlight hit his desk as he whispered casually, "Ava, I'm applying to Columbia." Columbia. The dream school. The big leagues. I smiled like it was obvious. Cool. You go. I'll follow you. Back then, I thought love meant that. Two parallel lines walking toward the same future. Even when we fought about Madison, about him tutoring her late at night, about the whispers in the hallways. I always ended arguments with, Where you go, I go. I even planned it out. He'd go to Columbia. I'd choose an art institute nearby. We've grabbed dinner together in the cafeteria every night. Live the cliché college sweetheart life. Simple. Stupid. 17. But then the SAT scores came. Liam was top. I was mid-pack, but solid enough. Columbia and Stanford sent offers. Glowing ones. And the extra admission spot for one person of the student's choice. The day we finally talked about it, Liam looked guilty. Ava, Madison needs that spot more than you. He said it in one breath, as if rushing would soften the blow. But he didn't stop there. He twisted the knife. Your scores aren't competitive enough. 18 years together, and that was the first time he ever ranked me. I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I just said, "Then let her have it." He hugged me then, like a man promising the world. When you graduate, I'll marry you. I believed him. Believed so hard that I turned down my acceptance to Parsons. Later, when I mailed my art exhibition invitation to my senior year teacher, I realized what I gave up wasn't a college entrance. It was a different version of myself. Lying in that hotel room, I reminded myself why I came back. My art exhibition, my contract, my life with Ethan. Not for Liam. Not for closure. Not for justice. Those belong in movies. In real life, they steal years and give nothing back but stories you tell when you're drunk. Tomorrow I would meet Olivia for lunch. Get some updates, maybe laugh a little. As for the past, I would keep it locked away. But life rarely cares what you want. The next day, I arrived at Vanton Bistro, a trendy fusion spot in downtown LA. Right on time. Olivia spotted me before I even stepped inside. "Ava! Oh my God, I missed you so much!" She barreled into me like a confetti cannon. Her Chanel bag, probably fake but expensive looking, nearly flew into traffic. I laughed and let her drag me along. But we barely made it 3 steps before she froze, and it didn't take me long to see why. Liam Carter stood at the opposite end of the hallway. White button-down, black slacks, straight posture, cool expression. He looked like 7 layers of memories stacked into one person I didn't want to deal with. 8 years had stripped away the sunshine boy I used to know. What stood there now felt older. Still handsome, but colder. Like a winter morning no one asked for. I pressed my lips into a line, emotionless. Olivia flicked her eyes between us, as if watching a chemical reaction she didn't want to be in the blast radius of. The air thickened, and then a soft voice floated in from behind him. "Liam, they're waiting for you inside." A voice too gentle, too practiced, too sweet to be real. Madison Blake appeared next. White dress, soft curls, a face that practically whispered, "I'm harmless," even when she wasn't. For a split second, her eyes met mine. Something cracked behind her mascara. A tiny fracture she covered up instantly with a sugar-thin smile. "Ava, you're back? Why didn't you tell us?" she asked softly. I smiled back the kind of smile meant for mirrors, not people. There are smiles that hide joy, and smiles that hide pride. Mine was the second type. Madison slid her hand onto Liam's arm. A small gesture, but intentional. A quiet declaration. He's mine now. I answered simply, "I didn't think I needed to." Her face stiffened. Barely. But I saw it. She glanced at Liam, as if begging for help. But Liam hadn't taken his eyes off me since the second I appeared. His stare pinned me in place, the kind that made people want to turn away. But I didn't. I just stared back, calm, cold, unmoved. Olivia grabbed my arm and announced loudly, "Okay, new plan." "We're sitting somewhere else. This hallway is way too crowded." I let her pull me away. I didn't look back. But I could feel it. Liam's eyes stuck to my spine like a shadow refusing to let go. Later that night. After dinner, Olivia went to get her car. I walked toward the main entrance of the restaurant, and there it was. A black BMW X5, parked across the street. The license plate. Our shared birthday numbers. I stopped cold. Through the tinted window, I saw him. Liam, sitting in the driver's seat, unmoving. Stone still, like he'd been rooted there for hours. I exhaled. Of course, this was exactly the sort of stubbornness he used to have. Except back then, he waited because he wanted to make me smile. Now, he waited because he was afraid I'd disappear. Olivia came jogging up, spotted him, and nearly dropped her keys. "Seriously? He's still here?" "Do you want me to get security?" I shook my head. "No need. Let's go." But inside me, a single thought whispered. Men who abandon you at 17 never know where to stop when they want you back. Arriving at the hotel, the shuttle pulled up to my hotel entrance. I stepped out, and Liam's car rolled to a halt just a few meters away. My patience snapped. I marched up to his window and knocked hard. "Liam Carter, you do realize stalking is illegal, right?" The window slid down slowly. His face appeared. Red eyes, tense jaw. A man trying desperately not to fall apart. His voice cracked. "Ava, you're cruel." I froze for half a second. I knew that look. Knew it too well. When we were 13, he got beaten half to death by his dad, because he defended me. Same eyes. Same pain. Except back then, he didn't cry. Now, his tears fell like a dam giving way. "When you left, you have no idea what it did to me," he whispered. "I thought if I waited just a little, you'd come back. But you never did." I listened, expression flat. He wasn't wrong. I did leave. But so did he. He continued, voice trembling. 7 years, Ava. Not once did you reach out. I let out a hollow laugh. You didn't either. Silence cut lightly between us. I straightened up. My trip here is for my exhibition, not you. He swallowed hard, voice shredded. Ava, I'm going crazy missing you. I sighed. The rumors in the group chat? Clear them up. Then I turned, walked into the hotel lobby, and didn't look back. Behind me, the only sound was the night wind, and a broken whisper he probably never meant me to hear. I don't believe you. Later when I was alone in the room, his words from earlier kept echoing. I don't believe you. He didn't believe I'd stopped loving him. Didn't believe my return wasn't about him. Didn't believe the past was dead. Men like him don't mourn losing you. They mourn losing their place in your universe. Liam didn't miss me. He missed being the center of my life. 2 days later, I drove across town to visit Mrs. Ramirez, my senior year art teacher. The one adult who saw me clearly when everyone else misread me. I pushed open the office door. She looked up, and her entire face lit up like Broadway stage lights. "Ava! Oh my goodness! I knew you'd make it big one day." She grabbed my hands and squeezed so hard I almost teared up. I laughed softly. I never stopped painting. She touched my hands the way a proud mother might. "Ava, when you turned down Parsons for that boy, I was terrified for you." A small ache fluttered in my chest, the kind of pain that belonged to a version of me who no longer existed. Back then, the whole school assumed I wasn't smart enough for a real college, so I settled for art. Only she knew I had options. Real ones. I reached into my bag and pulled out the envelope I'd prepared. I came back from my first solo exhibition, and it's going to be at Parsons. For a moment, she didn't move. Then her eyes shimmered. I knew it. I always knew it. I squeezed her hand. "Don't cry, Mrs. Ramirez. Just promise me you'll be there." She nodded rapidly, wiping her eyes. Then she said gently, "Your work now. It's brighter than it used to be." I understood what she meant. Back in senior year, my sketches were full of dark tones, heavy shadows, angry strokes. That's what loving the wrong person does. It drains all the color out of you. I smiled. "I'm happy now." That makes all the difference. Back at the hotel, the moment I stepped inside, the concierge rushed toward me. "Ms. Hart, your friend from the other night. He's back. He's been outside all afternoon." I felt my stomach drop. I walked to the glass doors. There it was again, that same black BMW X5. Parked in the same spot. The California sun glared off the hood, but inside the car, Liam looked smaller, thinner, fading. Our eyes met through the windshield. He didn't move. I didn't either. The concierge whispered, "He doesn't look well. Should we call the cops?" I opened my mouth to say yes, but before I could, a car screeched to a stop beside his. The door flew open. Madison jumped out. "Liam!" She ran to him like someone arriving at a disaster scene. She said something to him, her face pale, frantic. Then she looked straight at me. Her eyes were red, accusing, as if I was the one who'd pushed him to the edge. I told the concierge calmly, "You don't need to call the police anymore. His people are here." And I walked inside. Didn't look back. That night, back in my room, I dropped my bag onto the chair. The question slipped out before I could stop it. If I never moved away, would things have been different? But the answer came instantly. No. Because a man who doesn't choose you won't see you, even if you're standing right in front of him. I slept well. No dreams. No memories. Just quiet. Exhibition day. What I didn't expect was how fast the news spread. Mrs. Ramirez posted it. Former classmates reposted it. Former classmates' friends reposted it. Even some old teachers shared it. The people who once whispered, "Ava wasn't good enough for real universities," went silent. Then the panic began. Wait, she graduated from Parsons? Her pieces sell? For 6 figures? She's in art magazines? Her academic scores were actually high?
Somebody confirm this.
Someone from the arts department finally answered. Ava passed all 4 top Art Academy exams, and her SAT score could have gotten her into any Ivy. The group chat died for 10 minutes. Then someone typed what everyone was thinking. So the person who didn't qualify back then wasn't her? No one replied, but everyone understood. Outside the exhibition hall, on opening day, the crowd was huge. But one man stood just outside the entrance, not moving, not stepping inside, just staring at the poster of me. Liam. He looked exhausted, hollowed out, almost unrecognizable. Olivia nudged me. Why isn't he coming in? I shrugged lightly. Maybe he doesn't like my art. The truth? He stopped paying attention to my art years before he lost me. I once wanted to walk beside him, to keep up with him, to shine next to him. But he stopped looking. A week later, the exhibition ended. I packed up. I was ready to leave LA. My old classmates invited me to a farewell dinner. Just one night, I thought.
Why not?
But the moment I stepped inside the private room, I saw her. Madison Blake. Sitting there like she had been waiting for this exact moment. My chest tightened.
This wasn't a dinner. It was an ambush.
The restaurant had dim golden lighting, soft music, warm air, all the ingredients for a peaceful dinner. Too bad peace wasn't on the menu. I took my seat. Old classmates chatted around the table, laughing as if senior year hadn't been a battlefield. I could sense it, though. The tension underneath. Every story, every laugh, every side glance, they were all circling the same subject. Liam Carter. Finally, I put my chopsticks down. Okay, I said. If you want to ask me something, just ask. The table froze. Then a hesitant voice. Ava, could you visit Liam? He's not doing well. Here we go. He hasn't eaten, someone added. Barely sleeps. He hasn't talked to anyone for days. Just like 7 years ago when you left. A migraine bloomed behind my eyes. That, I said flatly, is his problem, not mine. Every pair of eyes snapped toward me, accusing, pleading, judging. If I didn't know better, I'd think I personally caused an earthquake. Then Madison slammed her hand on the table.
Ava Hart! How can you be this cruel?
Her voice cracked. Tears glassed her eyes. But I knew better. This wasn't heartbreak for Liam. This was jealousy, bitterness. 7 years of trying and still failing to stand where I once stood. She spat out, "You don't know what he went through the past 7 years. He would have shattered if I wasn't there for him." I met her eyes, calm, cold. Really? I leaned in slightly. Well, that's good for you then, isn't it? Madison blinked. Hard. You had 7 years, I said softly. You had time, chances, proximity, and his attention. Yet he still didn't choose you. Her face drained of color. The room went silent. She whispered, voice trembling. He didn't choose me, because you've always been in his heart. I actually laughed. A small, sharp sound. A man who lives off fantasies, I said, can put anyone in his heart. That's the problem. Someone finally tried playing the peacemaker. Ava, we just hate seeing Liam like this. You two were perfect together. I rested my elbow on the table, my voice low, steady. I haven't belonged to him in a very long time. I looked around the table, making sure every word landed. You call that love? 7 years without a single call, not even to check if I was alive? Not one apology? Not one question? And now he shows up crying and suddenly I'm responsible? I shook my head. That isn't love. That's entitlement. A few people looked away, guilt flickering in their eyes. My phone buzzed. A text from Ethan, shirtless in the airport bathroom mirror, abs muscles glowing under bad fluorescent lighting. Babe, waiting at the airport. Come home to me. I couldn't help it. I snorted. A real laugh. The only genuine smile I'd given that whole night. Everyone stared like they expected me to crumble, to soften, to be moved by the tragedy of Liam Carter falling apart. Instead, I said, I'm not going anywhere. Then I dropped the bomb. I'm married. The table imploded into silence. Nobody blinked. Nobody breathed. Madison shot up from her chair. You're lying! I lifted my left hand. The ring caught the light. Clean, bright, loud enough to be its own truth. I married 2 years ago. Dead silence. Then, Ava? A voice behind me. I turned. Liam stood in the doorway, pale, shaking. Eyes wide with devastation. He looked like someone had pulled the floor out from under him. I held his stare for 1 calm second. Then I repeated, I'm married, Liam. No anger, no nostalgia, no grief, just closure. 18 years boiled down to one clean knot tied shut. He staggered like he'd been shoved. His lips moved, but no sound came. Tears filled his eyes. I watched them fall and felt nothing. Because this wasn't a man mourning a lost love. This was a man mourning the loss of a world where he believed I would always be waiting for him. He didn't miss me. He missed the version of myself that revolved around him, and that version no longer existed. I stood there, calm, steady, almost too composed. Some of them stared at me like I'd slapped a baby. But Liam Carter knew better. The second I said, I'm married, he looked like someone had unplugged his spine. His legs buckled. He caught the edge of the table with trembling fingers, then dropped to his knees. Not graceful. Not cinematic. Not like the romantic dramas where heartbreak looks beautiful. This was raw, ugly, real. A man realizing the world he built in his head just collapsed. He choked out, pieces of words scraping out of his throat. Ava, why? Why did you do this? I looked down at him the way someone looks at an old scar. Familiar, but no longer painful. No anger, no sympathy. No triumph. Just the quiet certainty that this was the moment the past finally died. He looked up, eyes bloodshot. I'm sorry, I messed up. I regret everything. Behind him, Madison stood frozen, eyes red, hands shaking. She looked at Liam like someone watching the sky fall on her head. She took one step toward him, hesitating, like she wanted to help him stand. But she didn't dare. She didn't have the right. And deep down, she knew it. I wasn't surprised. Men only regret losing you when they realize they've lost the power to choose you again. Not because they suddenly grew a conscience. I inhaled slowly. Didn't flinch. Didn't soften. Liam, I said. I didn't get married out of anger. He flinched. I continued, clear, steady. I got married because I stopped loving you. It hit him like a bullet. The room went silent enough to hear a glass crack. Someone whispered, almost in disbelief, "When?" I held his gaze, unblinking. Since that rainy night, 7 years ago, the night innocence died. 3 months after moving abroad, I thought I was strong. I wasn't. Grief lived in my bones. Loneliness chewed through me. I lost 7 pounds. Barely slept. Every night I stared at my phone, hoping, just once, he'd message me. "Are you okay? Did you land safely? I'm sorry." Anything. The number I used to call 100 times was suddenly the most silent place on earth. One night, I snapped. I booked the earliest flight back to the US. 7 hours felt like 7 years. The moment I landed at JFK, it was pouring. Wind slapping rain into my face like punishment. I didn't go home. Didn't change clothes. Didn't stop moving. I took a taxi straight to Columbia Science Building. At midnight, in the freezing rain. Because love makes fools of women, especially women who love deeply. I ran through empty hallways, heart pounding like it was trying to force its way out of my chest. He'll be happy to see me, I told myself. He'll hug me. He'll say he missed me. It's funny, the stories we tell ourselves. And then, I saw them. Liam Carter kissing Madison Blake right outside the lab door. Warm light spilling over their silhouettes. His hands in her hair. Her arms around him. Soft. Intimate. Familiar. My entire world dropped out from under me. I don't remember how long I stood there. I don't remember if I cried. I don't remember whether the cold wind or the cold truth numbed me first. But I remember one thing perfectly. I turned around and walked away without a sound. No questions, no confrontation, no begging. Because that night, I learned the hardest truth. The person who is prioritized is always prioritized. And the one who isn't can be standing right in front of them, and they still won't see her. Back to the present, I looked Liam dead in the eyes. I came back for you, I said quietly. Back then, in the rain. He froze.
You were kissing her.
A gasp rippled through the room. I finished the sentence that buried everything. And from that night on, I stopped loving you. The final nail in the coffin. Liam broke. Not sobbing, shattering. He cried like someone who finally understood the consequences of his choices. Behind him, Madison collapsed into a chair, hands over her face, unable to look anywhere but the floor. But me? I felt light. Like I had finally untied the last thread binding me to my childhood. Liam braced his palms against the floor, trying, failing, to stand. When he finally pushed himself halfway up, his legs gave out again. He dropped back down, breath shaking. Ava, are you really married? His voice fractured like thin glass. This wasn't poetic heartbreak. It wasn't movie-pretty sorrow. It was a man realizing he had finally lost something he always assumed he owned. Behind him, Madison stepped forward, eyes swollen, mascara smudged. "He's like this because of you," she cried. Every year, it's the same. And last time he almost died, Ava."
Do you even...
I cut her off with a single look. Cold. Sharp enough to silence her instantly. "You love him?" I asked quietly. "I used to love him twice as much." Madison flinched like I'd hit her.
Then why?
She choked. Why won't you give him another chance? Why come back here just to destroy him all over again? I stared at her. The tragedy wasn't her question. It was that she meant it.
"Madison," I said, "I didn't come back for him. I came back for my exhibition." It was like I slapped the breath out of her. She stumbled a step back. The others exchanged uneasy glances, caught between guilt and discomfort. Someone finally whispered, "Ava, we know Liam messed up. But you two were together for 18 years. I gave a small, humorless smile. And I heard for all 18 of them. Silence fell like a blackout. Then I said it. The truth I'd swallowed for too long. I don't owe him anything. I don't owe any of you anything." They didn't argue, because deep down, they knew I wasn't wrong. Facing the past head on, I turned to Madison first. "For 7 years," I said softly, "you were the one beside him, not me." Then I turned to Liam. "And for 7 years, you only loved one person." His breath hitched. The whole room leaned in. I finished. "The 17-year-old version of me that lived in your imagination." Liam went white. His lips trembled. He whispered broken, No, that's not true." But I wasn't cruel, just honest. You didn't want who I became. You wanted the girl who kept choosing you even when you didn't choose her. He collapsed forward, arms circling my leg in a desperate grip. "Ava, please don't go. Don't leave me. I know I messed up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Ava, please." His voice cracked into incoherence. People around the table wiped their eyes. Others turned away, unable to watch. But I stood still. Not cold. Not vengeful. Just done. I didn't pull him up. Didn't shove him off. I simply looked at him the way you look at a black and white photograph that's been damaged by time. "Liam," I said gently, "I'm married." He sobbed harder. I continued. "My husband ran halfway across the world just to bring me home. He knows what I'm good at, what I'm scared of, what hurts me, what makes me happy. He sees the real me. Not some nostalgia-soaked version of who I used to be." I leaned just a little closer. And the most important thing? I let each word fall like a clean cut. He chose me. He didn't replace me. He didn't keep me waiting in the rain. He didn't make me beg for scraps of attention. Liam broke, completely. A sob ripped out of him like something tearing inside. I ended it quietly. We ended the night it rained. You just refused to accept it. Then I stepped back, gently removing his hands from my leg. He tried to stand. His knees buckled. He nearly collapsed again. Madison rushed to him. "I'm here," she sobbed. "I'm here, Liam. Please, look at me."
But he didn't. His eyes followed me like a wounded animal watching the last open door close. I didn't look back. I walked out of the room, through the hallway, through the doors, and into the crisp night air. For the first time in years, my chest felt light.
Free. In the quiet corridor of the hotel, my phone buzzed. Ethan. Got your message. On my way. Come home to me, babe.
And a selfie of him flexing his abs in the mirror, like the shameless, lovable idiot he is. I smiled. A real, effortless smile. I wasn't walking away from the past. I was walking toward home. The next morning, I wheeled my suitcase out of the hotel. The sky was impossibly clear. Light gold sunlight spilling over everything, like a soft apology for the chaos of the last few days. Olivia was waiting near the entrance, eyes red and puffy. "You're really leaving?" she asked. I laughed and tugged her cheek. "Of course."
What am I gonna do? Stay here and live inside a soap opera?
She let out a wet sniffle turned laugh. That's the thing about Olivia. Sharp with the world, soft with the people she loves. I wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "Relax. I'm not disappearing forever."
Say the word and I'll fly you out to New York. My husband's rich, remember?
She snorted. "Right. Ethan Cole is gonna brag about that for weeks." We stood under the airport's front awning, letting the breeze tug at our hair. And for the first time since landing, there wasn't even a thread in my heart connected to Liam Carter. For years, I thought an 18-year-long love was a chain I'd drag forever. Turns out, the one holding the scissors had always been me. And I finally used them. Olivia studied me for a long moment. Then her expression softened. "Ava, you made the right choice." She took a shaky breath.
A man who really loves you would never let you walk through a storm alone.
God, that one hit deep. Because it was true. So painfully true. A message from home. My phone buzzed. "Ethan."
Babe, I'm at the airport.
"Come out through gate C3. I swear I'm missing you at an exponential rate." Attached. A selfie of him in a white t-shirt, fresh out of the shower, with that stupidly confident smile only men built like Greek statues can pull off. I laughed out loud. Olivia rolled her eyes. "Let me guess."
Another overly romantic, unnecessary selfie?
"Yep. And annoyingly adorable." We hugged. Tight, warm, real. Then I headed inside. C3, where everything changed. I found him instantly. Ethan stood by the gate, one hand in his pocket, eyes scanning the crowd like he could spot me with radar. He raised a hand when he saw me.
Babe?
Just that one word, and all the leftover weight from LA fell off my shoulders. I walked up to him. He immediately grabbed my suitcase, didn't ask, didn't hesitate, just took it like it was the most natural thing in the world.
Long trip? He asked.
No.
Want to kiss me?
I smirked. Already did.
Good, 'cause I'm planning to steal more once we get home.
I rolled my eyes, but my heart melted anyway. Men like Ethan, the ones who make you laugh and feel safe at the same time, they're dangerous in the best way. He took my hand, thumb brushing my knuckles.
Cold?
No.
Thirsty?
A little.
Hungry?
Maybe.
Want to be held?
Yes. He pulled me into a quick hug right there in the terminal. It wasn't dramatic, wasn't desperate. It was simply home. A kind of tenderness I had spent years pretending I didn't need.
That night. Later, curled up against him on our couch in New York, I realized something. I wasn't lying in his arms because I was fragile or lonely or seeking comfort. I was lying there because I finally felt safe enough to rest. Ethan brushed a strand of hair from my face. Ava. Thank you for coming back.
I smiled into his chest.
I didn't come back for the past. I tilted my head up to meet his eyes. I came back because my present is here. Ethan kissed my forehead, slow and steady. Good, because from now on, I'm your future. And for the first time, all the pain of my youth, every mistake, every heartbreak, felt like dust in sunlight. Distant. Harmless. Gone. Months later, Olivia texted me an article. Liam Carter, Columbia researcher, passes away from cardiac failure caused by exhaustion. Then another headline. Madison Blake hospitalized after fatal crash. Messages flooded in. Ava, are you coming back for the funeral? Will you visit the hospital? I typed a single reply. No. And that was the last time Liam Carter's name ever brushed against the edges of my life. I put the phone down and looked toward the kitchen. Ethan was stirring noodles on the stove, muttering to himself like cooking was a life-or-death mission. Warm yellow light spilled across his back. Steady. Safe. Mine. There are people who pass through your life, leaving only wounds. And there are people who walk in and start healing them. After everything, I finally understood. Happiness isn't in the past that hurt you. It's in the person who chooses you in the present and stays for every tomorrow. I walked up behind Ethan and wrapped my arms around him. I'm home, I said quietly. He turned, kissed the top of my head. You always will be. And that was the real ending of my story. The one I chose. The one I deserved.